All right. So, as you can see, I haven't been live for a couple of, I don't know when. Let me look. Let's see. The last time I did a live stream was 4 weeks ago. I uploaded a couple of small videos doing with the boys AEW, and that's always fun. Make sure you subscribe to AEW, All Star Extreme Wrestling. Um, our WrestleMania show is out to be posted soon. We went all out for that. I want as many people as possible to go watch that, so it mean a lot. Um, so yeah, I'm super late. I know, not even super late. Very not even very super duper late with the Extreme Rules because SummerSlam is 2 weeks away, and I'm going to do predictions for SummerSlam. I'll see if I can get Horrible. I can see if I can get the guy. See if we can do predictions like we always do. Um, but for Extreme Rules, and after Extreme Rules, I will talk about Raw because I do watch Raw, and I won't spoil anything with Raw, but it was. I won't spoil anything. So the Extreme Rules happen. So it's very late. Everyone probably knows what happened. Probably everyone's watched the reviewers. I'm a late bloomer, I guess you could say. I don't know. Anyway, so first thing that happened was extreme pre-show Kevin Owens versus Buddy or just Murphy. Um, what's next? Kevin is just Owens now. No Kevin Owens. It's gonna be Owens. Um, I didn't watch it when it first aired. I watched it after, and it was a pretty good pre-show match. Sucks that both of these guys were on the pre-show. It hurt because I'm a huge fan of Kevin. I'm a huge fan of Buddy, and it hurt seeing them both on the pre-show. But at the end of the day, they killed it. I knew they would. Hopefully, Kevin can get a push. Buddy can get a push, or Murphy. So both of them can do something. One of them wins the single title, gets a feud going, or something. But pretty good. Next was the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in a tables match, and that was a good match. I ain't gonna lie. Um, I liked it. I liked how they were all hard hitting. It showed like a different side of New Day. Um, spots were good. Um, the story was good. I liked the story. A lot of people didn't really care for this. Well, I wouldn't say care. I think a lot of people thought New Day would win, so no one really paid attention. But they did the swerve factor and have Cesaro and Nakamura win. And um, that's good. Um, I'm glad Nakamura has a belt again. I'm glad Cesaro is having a belt. They both need to be WWE champion or Universal champion. Let's be honest. I don't know what Vince is doing. That's another thing I will talk about afterwards. Um, Vince and the writing, but yeah, very good match. Really liked it. It was pretty decent length. The finish was Kofi looked like no, I'm not gonna plug in my camera. Kofi was gonna go for a Hurricanrana through and put Cesaro through the tables, but Cesaro was too strong. He picked him up, Nakamura helped, and then they powerbombed him through two tables stacked up. Or like two table spots always will. And Cesaro and Nakamura, your new tag team champions, and I don't think they've really done anything ever since then. I haven't watched SmackDown in a good minute. And it was only because I haven't watched SmackDown because I've actually been working on Saturday, so it's kind of hard sometimes. But I watched Raw. I didn't go in early, and I didn't regret it. And I was satisfied. I'll just say that. But very good match. Really liked it. Um, really good stuff. Then we got the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Nikki, and that was a fun little match. I'm going to say this until Bayley loses the title. She needs to lose the title. Please get it off of her. I'm tired of seeing Bayley on my screen. Sasha is fine. I don't mind Sasha having a title, but Bayley just, oh, she's playing the heel great, but at the same time she's just so like obnoxious. I can't even say the word annoying. It just makes me just wish her like she just go back to a face. Like at this point, like I really hope she does or she takes time away because it's just like I'm getting sick of seeing these two always there and taking up the spotlight because I'm getting sick. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting sick of seeing Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Bayley, and just that area. There's like they don't push any other women. They don't push Naomi. They don't push Lacey. They don't push Dana. They don't push. They just recently started pushing Asuka, so please do that. Don't push Nikki. They're not even pushing Alexa. I take Alexa over this, and I hated some of her tower runs. But like the other, Vince has to realize they won't be there forever, and he's got to learn to let these other women step up. And I really thought I think Nikki should win. And the thing that irritated me was that I really thought she was about to win Friday, but she didn't. And then the Fiend said, "Hello, I'm going to attack you, Alexa." Because Nikki pushed Alexa. I don't know why. I guess she was just frustrated because she couldn't beat Bayley. But at the end of the day, Bayley won. I'm tired of seeing Bayley. I want someone new. She's held that division down now for how long now? Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. She cashed in Money in the Bank. I remember she cashed in Money in the Bank, and then she turned heel. Oh my! It's been a minute. Like Carmella, I like to see have a title again. Ruby, Liv. Shoot, one of the Iconics. Shoot, have the Iconics hold everything. That'd be cool. Just do something different. Like I'm tired of seeing the same four women. Like do something better, WWE. That's all I'm asking. I know you can. You have a stacked women's division. You're gonna get another one here soon. It feels like she's gonna come. The chick from TNA, Lancer, I think. I can't say her name, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna go to NXT. And good Lord, WWE's women's division is stacked with some good talent. And I'm really hoping if Ripley wins tomorrow and loses to Io, she gets called up and they can use Ripley because Ripley is that good. Have Ripley beat Bayley and then have Asuka beat Sasha and then have the Riot Squad beat them for their tag team titles. There you go. You can easily have Ripley come up. Don't automatically give her a title opportunity. Have her beat Lacey, Naomi, Dana, all these women. Have her in a rivalry with one or two of them. Have them get built up. She goes after Bayley. Her and Sonya go at it. Actually, that would be a nice little thing. She beats Sonya. She gets to Bayley. She's in a rivalry with Bayley. She doesn't want the title at first, but then she wants the title. Fantastic. There you go. Asuka beats Bayley on next Raw. Faces Sasha. Beats Sasha at SummerSlam. And then have Asuka and Shayna go at it, which I really am going to drool over, because those two are my two favorite women to watch. And then have Shayna win, or have Asuka have another good little title run, and then have Shayna win, because I'm sick of them not using Shayna, because I'm a huge fan of Shayna. And then have Ripley face Asuka, and then face Io at Survivor Series, and that would be very interesting because you got two crazy Japanese ladies in there, and you got a friggin' metalhead. So yeah, just tired of Bayley. Want something new. Um, hey, my boy Nate's here, horror boy. I was just talking about before you joined when SummerSlam's a week away or the day of SummerSlam. I want you, Tyler, and all the other guys. This show wasn't as bad. Yeah, I agree. But I'm going to have all of you guys come over and do a live stream and do our predictions, and then eventually, probably Monday, if no one is busy, um, well, whenever we can, or it could be just me and you could give our thoughts on it. Like I miss doing this, and it's bringing back some good memories. But yeah, getting tired of seeing Bailey. I just basically just booked a good freaking title run for like Ripley and Asuka. So I basically just said, have Ripley get called up if she loses to EO, have her feud with Naomi or uh, Sweet, have her feud with Naomi or Lacey or Dana or even Carmella for a little bit. Then she goes after Sonya and then beats Sonya and then goes after Ripley. Not Ripley. She goes after Bailey. Then Bailey beats her the first time. She goes after Bailey again. She wins the title, and then Asuka beats Bailey on next Raw, so she can face Sasha at SummerSlam. She beats Sasha, gets title back, and then her and Shayna have a good match because I think Asuka and Shayna can do a lot of good things, and then have Asuka have another good run, Ripley have a good run, Io have a good run, Survivor Series Triple Threat, Asuka versus Io versus Ripley for bragging rights, and you got two crazy Japanese women and a crazy metalhead that's going to do some amazing things. We've already seen what Io and Ripley can do in a triple threat. Add an Asuka, that would be amazing. So, the next match was the I versus I match. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. And without the stipulation, that match was freaking fantastic. That I'm gonna be honest, that was the match I was least excited for because of the stipulation, and it was one of the best ones. They tore the house up. I really enjoyed watching Seth and Rey work. Like I hope if Rey does resign, I hope they can do another match without an I versus I stipulation. I hope they can just have a normal one-on-one at a pay-per-view or an Extreme Rules match at another pay-per-view and just tear it down like they did with this. Because oh my goodness, this, like the close call. Even though the eye thing, I'm not the biggest person with eye things. It was cool seeing them always going for the eye or like the kendo stick. The one that really got me was the kendo stick spot where he put up the kendo stick and Rey was about to shove Seth in, and Seth blocked it and tried to shove Rey in, and he blocked it, and then Rey got a kendo and like poked him in the eye. I was like, oh, I was like, ow, ooh, I don't like, ooh, and then that dude tried to gore out Rey's eyes. I was like, ooh, that was pretty graphic in the PG area. Yeah, that was a pretty graphical match. And at the end, they did the little everyone's calling it the Pokeball eye, which was kind of funny. I didn't see it at first. I didn't even know. It was like the match ended. I was like, what? It's out? I didn't see it. I was like, oh, thank goodness. And then Tyler sent me the picture of it. I was like, oh, that actually looks like a real eye. That's terrifying. And I was like, oh. And then Seth puking at the end was just like, oh, even adding more fuel to the fire. But I thought the match was fantastic. I thought this the eye thing was weird. I can't say the word. I can't say the word, so I'm not even gonna try. Just adding the eye stuff was just a little bit too much because it was like every 5 minutes they were going after the eye. I was like, okay, just wrestle and keep going. But the end was pretty cool. Curb stomp. Then he put his eye on the stair and went boop, and I was like, oh. And then they re-showed it on Raw, and I actually seen it pop out. I was like, oh, I was like, that, I don't care. It may look fake, but it looked like a real eye from the angles, and that's the thing that matters. You know, it was just, and Rey hitting a curve stomp was fan-freaking-tastic. So the next match was the one match I really was not looking forward to. It was Asuka versus Sasha because I do wish they could have made the show more darker looking. If it was supposed to be an extreme horror show, they should have made it look dark and misty. It felt weird seeing everything all bright. Yeah, I think the horror was part of the swamp match, which I'll get into, I think, in a little bit. But that was the horror of it because they made that like horror. But I wish they would have made the Seth and Ray match a little bit darker too. Some of the other matches really like you knew wasn't going to be that dark, so it was like, but the Asuka versus Sasha match, I wasn't excited for it, but dang it, them two freaking made me get excited for it because they were tearing the house down again. It shows that Asuka can keep up with the Four Horsewomen, and it's why I like Asuka a lot more than the Four Horsewomen. If I were to put my list of women, it would go Ripley, Asuka, Io, and then Dakota, and then honestly Carmella. I used to despise Carmella, but now I'm a huge fan of Carmella, and it sucks that she don't get opportunities like she should. But they freaking tore the house down. Not right now. Remind me tomorrow. Stupid computer. But it was like I felt like Sasha was gonna win. I was like, oh no, don't do it. And then Asuka does the kick, like they go back and forth, and then Asuka does the mist, and then the mist doesn't connect with Sasha. She ducks and it hits the ref, and then they fight back and forth, and Bayley gets involved. Bayley hits Asuka with the title, and then puts on a ref shirt, and Banks covers her for a 1-2-3. I guess it makes it look like they cheated to win, so no one looked weak. So I guess that was the plan. So no one technically won, so it was good, I guess. But my opinion, just meh. The match, them wrestling was fantastic. The chemistry that they were putting on, fantastic. The ending, just meh. I just want Asuka to hold the title. Then we got into the Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler made an Extreme Rules match for himself. Basically, he can use weapons, Drew can't. If Drew gets disqualified or count out, he also loses the title, which I think should be in every title match. Yes, I believe if a champion gets count out or disqualified, they should lose the belt, period. But Dolph made that a thing. So we all, if you thought Ziggler was going to win, I'm just surprised that you think that. It's weird how Bray is kind of between the old gimmick and new one. Yeah, he's having a booking crisis. Yeah, they're having like a little booking. Well, I think they only did it for like the swamp match, so he hasn't really used it much. He's went back to the Yowie Wowie and the Fiend running around just killing people, I guess. But Drew McIntyre versus Ziggler. Did anyone really think Ziggler was gonna win? Exactly. Ziggler never wins. He's put in situations to make someone look good. That is his role. That should be his role. He had his opportunities, and he didn't make the most of them. I hate to say it, but Ziggler is still a fantastic wrestler. I will give him every credibility. He is not a world champion material. He is a mid-carder. I will give him that. Yeah, put him in a U.S. Open Challenge. I will love that. Put him in an IC Open Challenge. I will love that. But the match was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun seeing Ziggler being able to use all the weapons and Drew couldn't. And then Ziggler hit a Shawn Michaels elbow drop, threw a table on Drew, and then he was setting up the band. I was like, I hate to say this, but you were copying Shawn Michaels too much. Use zigzag. That was your thing. Keep it. So he went for the band. He was tuning it up, and then Drew did a kip up. and then out of nowhere hit a Claymore. He did Kip up, and Ziggler went for a Sweet Chain Music, but he got Claymore instead. I was like, oh man, that was the coolest finish you could ever think of. Like just how he hit a Claymore from out of nowhere. Can you imagine Ziggler got the upset ratings? Would die themselves. Some people actually really like Ziggler and really want him as a world champion. So some people would be very happy. Some would be very angry, like me and you, because me and you love Drew McIntyre as champion. He is one of the best things that we, as a universe, should appreciate. But of course, people are just selfish and don't know what they want. Not selfish, but they just don't know what they want, and are now complaining that he's not a good champion and he doesn't draw the numbers. Someone literally put on their Instagram, Roman Reigns put 5.3 million. He's only getting like one, and Drew's only getting 1.9. 5 moves of doom. Claymore. Pretty much, if he hits a Claymore, you're done. But comparing Roman and Drew, everyone hates Drew and Braun. Well, pretty much at this point. I don't know why people hate Drew. Braun, I can understand because it's like, well, not hating, but like him as a champion kind of was wasted. But him still as a champion is fine. But he like Drew is too good. Okay, I don't understand why people don't want him as champion. You complained, you wanted it, and you got it. Now you want to complain. This is why wrestling. WWE should not try to listen to the fans because I hate to say it, but y'all know what you want. A handful of you don't know what you want, and another handful do know what you want, and when they give you what you want, you are very happy and you will take it. The other half will want to complain until they get what they want, and then they're bored of it in 5 minutes. Perfect example was Seth Rollins' title reign, Drew McIntyre's title reign, AJ Styles' title reign. Everyone gets bored except for the people that are really diehard fans and actually like things. Oh, yeah, and then Brock. There are people that still want Brock as champion. So you don't want to see a title, basically. Okay, good job. But Drew versus Shawn, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad Drew won. If they would have gave it to Ziggler, I've been like, what? No, please. Like, no. And then we got to the main event of the show, which was Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt in a swamp fight non-title match. And I thought this was for the title until they said it was a non-title match. I was like, oh, so Braun's losing. So it was a weird little back and forth type thing. Because CM Punk returns and becomes the new world champion. Never happening. He's never coming back. Everyone would mark out so hard if he came back, though. Everyone would, including myself. But Braun versus Bray, my opinion, it was the weakest cinematic film of them all so far. It was more just like the story was there. The story was perfect. There wasn't a lot of like back and forth to the end, and then they didn't really specify how you won the swamp match. Do you pin them? Do you drown them? Because they all tried to. They all tried to freaking drown each other. He comes back for the guest commentary. I would not mind that. I would not mind him as a commentator. He was a good commentator, but. Braun and Bray did pretty good. I was enjoying it. It was just the weakest one of the bunch. The weirdest part was at the end when Strowman kind of killed him, and then he said, "No, not today." He pulled him under, and then the Fiend popped out. I was like, okay, weird but cool, creepy, which they were all hoping for. But it was just like it was the cliffhanger ending to like a movie or a video game that you were like, that's it? So there's going to be another. So you know it was a cliffhanger, but I don't know. It was just a weird finish. I didn't know what the finish was because it was a first freaking swamp match. It was still really good. I really liked the chemistry that Braun and Bray had going back and forth with his old gimmick and that gimmick. The cool thing was Braun getting hit by himself with a shovel and then fighting off these guys, and one of the guys gets lit on fire, and then him getting trapped by Bray. And Bray basically saying, I made you, I made you. And everyone was like, Eric's coming back. And Eric didn't come back. I was like, oh, missed opportunity. But I thought Extreme Rules was pretty good. I give it 8.9, honestly, an 8.9. I was entertained most of the night. The good wait, didn't there wait. Was it Extreme Rules that had the Street Profits and Viking Raiders? No. No, it wasn't. No, was it? I can't remember. I really can't. If the Street Profits were there with the Viking Raiders and they did something crazy with the ninjas, I can't remember if that was Backlash. Never mind. I'm off. That was Backlash. There was like no tag team titles match, which threw me off. But Extreme Rules I thought was pretty good, entertaining. The matches of the night were definitely Sasha and Asuka and Seth and Ray, and probably Kevin and Buddy. Those were the three matches I really enjoyed the most. They were all really good matches. Really impressed with how they handled it. Still sucks that Bayley's champ, but it is what it is. So, let's go to Raw. I watched Raw for the first time in about 4 months, I would say, because of working and having to do overtime. So basically, if I were to watch Raw and go to sleep, I would get 3 hours of sleep. I'm not doing that. So I never really watched Raw until yesterday. I looked. My boss said I could come in at 6 if I want. So I said I'll come in at 6. I can get extra sleep. You know, even with 11 being late, I didn't feel tired. I felt fine. I did drink water, so that was probably it. But let's talk about Raw, shall we? Raw was freaking fantastic. For the first Raw I watched in a long time, I was happy. So let's get to the matches. Let's get to some promos. I can remember off the top of my head because it was a 3-hour show. So first thing that happens was Apollo coming back and challenging MVP for the United States Championship. So it was weird because everyone said Apollo retained, but MVP had the new one, so they just said Apollo retained because he never did lose his belt. So Apollo beat MVP in a good match, I thought. It didn't need to be something fancy, it didn't need to be something really fantastic. And it wasn't. It was a good match. In the middle of the match, like sometimes in the match or before, they were having this weird technical difficulty with the lights flashing. And to be honest, I was like, okay, that's weird. Probably the storm because they'd probably get hit with a storm. So that happened. Then there was a couple promos. I can't remember who. I'm about to look up Raw real quick because I can't remember everything. I was looking at the account, but it was just telling the matches, so I'm just gonna look at where I can find everything because there was some good stuff in there with promos. So let's see. Yep, the Cruz and Apollo beating. It was a good little thing. Then it went to the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens had Ruby on it, and Ruby said a bad word. They bleeped it, said BS. She wanted to have Liv come out and talked to Liv. Liv came out. Kevin hit a fantastic promo, in my opinion. Had me almost in tears, basically saying how much he was a bad person, how he shouldn't have done the things he should have done, how he shouldn't have backstabbed people, and basically telling Liv to give Ruby a chance. And then Ruby hit a very good promo afterwards too. Iconics interrupt, and then they talk trash. Kevin interrupts them saying, can we mute their mics because their mics were acting up. Peyton smacked him, and then Billy smacked him, and he was like, ladies, can you handle this? And then Liv and Ruby attacked him, and then they had a match with the Riot Squad beating the Iconics via pinfall. It was a short little match. They wanted to make it quick. They wanted to have no one to look weak because a roll-up happened. Liv hit a roll-up on Peyton, pinned Peyton, and then she pinned Billy. Then Peyton came in the ring, started attacking Liv. They went for their tag team finisher. Ruby broke it up, and then they did a side Russian sweep, and then they were like, oh, they're working together. And then Riot went to Liv, have Liv get out the ring, and then Liv did the same thing. So Riot got out, and I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good back and forth. I really liked it. The match was quick. Wish it was a little bit longer. Wish they would have showcased everything. But at the end of the day, it was good. And then Drew McIntyre and Orton had a fire. Everyone's saying it was a shoot. I'll go back and forth. I don't think it was shoot. I don't think there's really anything with shoot anymore. I think it's all off the top of their heads, or it's really good scripted. It could have been shoot, but it was good. It was basically Drew McIntyre coming out and saying, I made a lot of mistakes. I got fired off of my mistake. I made too many mistakes and I got fired from them. Orton, you had chance after chance after chance, and people keep cleaning up your crap. And he was like, you should have been fired a long time ago. Orton came out. He basically said, yeah, I should have been fired ago. But you know the difference between you and I? The company knows they can get money off of me, not off of you. I am selling. If he would have said, I'm selling this place, I would have laughed. But he was basically saying, I'm the face of this company now, then, and forever. The reason why I'm still here is because this company needs me, basically. And they went back and forth in a good promo. Drew calling them an arrogant arrogant something after. Don't really want to repeat it just in case if I do get hit with something from YouTube. And then he was basically calling Orton out. He's like, you're not a locker room leader like you should be, dude. You should be teaching these young kids. If you would have came to me when I was going through this crap, and he talked about how his mom was sick, he said, if you would have came to me and talked to me and helped me out, who knows what would have happened. I could have probably not got fired, but you know what you did? You didn't do anything. He basically called out Orton for not being a good locker room leader. And Orton stood there and was like, okay. He's like, I'll take your title and I'll take everything from you at SummerSlam. And I was like, this match needs to happen now. I'm too excited. I want this to happen now. Freaking fantastic. I want it now. So afterwards, a commercial happened and it went backstage. Kevin Owens was talking to Ruby and Liv. Ric Flair walks up, talks to Kevin. He asks Liv and Ruby to leave. They leave, and Kevin and Rick were talking, and Rick was basically being a good heel that he was, basically saying, oh, yeah, you should do this more, you should do that. And Kevin was like, no, I'm going to do me. I'm not trying. He's like, why are you trying to be a locker room leader? He's like, I'm not trying to be a locker room leader. I'm just trying to give advice to my friends. Unlike your boy, who isn't a locker room leader, I could be a locker room leader. I was like, ooh, showing Judge at Orton. So Flair was like, hey, I'm in the corner of him, right? He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, maybe you should mind your own business. He's like, mind my own business, huh? He's like, how about you go tell your boy that me and him can have a match next week? And I was like, Fantastic. Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. That's going to be a good match. I cannot wait for that match. That match is going to be really good. Nia Jax receives a suspension for striking a WWE official, struck a WWE official again. So basically, they did this little cringy thing where Nia was going to come out, have the official with her, and she was going to apologize. She didn't do that, and then she made fun of him and kind of like poked at him, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, you're suspended indefinitely without pay." She got mad. She took off his like pink suit. I was like, "Man, why you gotta hate the pink? Why you gotta hate the pink suit? The man looking fantastic in a pink suit. Why you gotta hate him? Why you gotta hate the man in the pink suit?" She rips it off. She beats him up a little bit. She gets mad. I'm like, "Good. She needs to be gone. She honestly needs to be fired, in my opinion. She is the worst and sloppiest person I've ever seen in the ring. She cannot wrestle. She cannot throw punches right. She can't protect people. She's hurting multiple talents. I can name pretty much everyone she's hurt. She's hurt Charlotte. She's hurt. She almost killed Charlotte. She's hurting Becky, which we've seen. She's hurting Alexa. She's hurting Zelina. She's hurting Bayley. She's hurt. I don't think she hurt Sasha, shockingly. She's hurt Kyrie twice. She's not a safe worker. She needs to either go back to NXT and Triple H to tear her up and tell her, look, you need to be safe or you need to leave. I don't care how much you are related to The Rock. You need to do better. Or she needs to be fired, because at this point, I tried to be nice with her. It happened once. It happens twice. That's kind of more on you. You should know better. Happens 3, 4, 5, 6 times, you're an unsafe worker. Let's be honest. If you sit there and you know the power of your punch, and you know if you hit someone, it can bust their nose or bust a lip, and you do that, not on purpose, but just you did it, and now Becky had that crimson red mask, and then you know that you're tall. I'm not going to say big, because there are big women that do know how to wrestle that can make it look good. One of them's in the NXT UK. Take notes. But you sit there and you power bomb her so hard that her neck snaps back, and then you throw her in the steel steps to where she gets a gash. You're unsafe. You need to be fired, fined, go back to NXT or something, because that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And if you defend her, a lot of people are doing this troll thing where they defend her, and I'm like, that's kind of stupid, but at the same time, they're trolls, and trolls are going to be trolls. And defend her. If you do that, fine, I don't care. But if you legit defend this woman for hurting half the roster, pretty much, you need to learn that she's not a good worker. She needs to be taught. She needs to be refocused. And it needs to be happening soon, because at this point, who knows what's next? She could easily end someone's career if she's not careful. If she powerbombs someone like that with a weak neck, that could end someone's career. She could easily end a woman's career if she's not careful. And that's the thing I'm scared of, because I don't want to see anyone's career end too early. It's not fun seeing careers end too early. But that happened, yada yada. So then we got to a 24/7 match: Akira Tozawa versus Shelton Benjamin and R-Truth. Before that, after MVP, they discussed what happened with why there was a power outage. There was boxes and cords messed up, and then MVP that's what caused it. And then she was like, yeah, but Cruz accept your challenge for at SummerSlam. He got all happy. Then Benjamin runs out. I can't throw my title. Someone stole my title. And then the thing with Nia happened, and then they run, and then R-Truth runs out. Tozawa's after him, and Shelton's after him. Tozawa's got ninjas. I'm like, the ninja stuff's so funny. I hate to say it, but it is racist but funny. He's a pack leader of ninjas, and he's Asian. That's kind of racist, but it's funny. So he's going. They have a good little match. Shelton pretty much dominates against R-Truth and him, but the ninjas, I guess, do this weird thing where they cause a distraction and they get beat up by everyone, and then Tozawa hits his finisher. I can't think of what it is, and pins R-Truth and wins the title and runs away from the Hurt people or the Hurt Squad or whatever they're called, Pain or whatever. I can't remember, but I like that match. That was freaking fantastic. I really liked that. And then this one don't have everything either, because I think it was before the. I think it was before the. It was after the Kevin Owens or before the Nia thing. Sasha and Bayley were talking and showing a clip of how they were so good, and then Shayna interrupts them, punches Sasha in the face, and walks off. So then now that sets up this match. It was a no contest because for some weird reason, if you attack someone outside the ring that you're not there for, it's a no contest. So it gets disqualified, which I thought was stupid. But I know what they did. They didn't want to have Sasha take a pin, and they didn't want Shayna to take a pin. So they basically just said, we're going to have a no contest, which, does make everyone look strong, I guess, or make good. And Shayna and Sasha were honestly having a really good match. Asuka comes out, starts beating up on Bayley. And then Shayna says, I'm going to root for you, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one to take that title off of you because I want to take the title off of you. And then Sasha's like, oh, you want to face me at SummerSlam? You're going to have to go through Bayley. I was like, and Bayley did not look happy. She looked at Sasha like, what are you doing? So this is probably going to hopefully cause the breakup between them. Have Sasha lose because Bayley gets pinned. And then Bayley calls Sasha. They break up. They lose their tag team title. Sasha then beats Bayley for the SmackDown. And Bayley goes on a long vacation. Then we had on Angel Garza defeats Angelo Dawkins, and that was a good little match. I was enjoying that. And before that, Montez Ford drunk his drink, and something was up with it. He was looking at it. I didn't see that, but my mom did, so she pointed out. And I was like, oh, he got poisoned. And he collapsed in the middle of the match that caused Angelo to lose. And then Montez took on Andrade, and then they went back and forth. And then towards the end of the match, he just collapsed again. And then it was a no contest. I thought they would just had Andrade win. They go backstage. They go backstage to try and get a message, like what happened, like is he okay? Angelo says nothing really, but I think he's been poisoned. His drink was poisoned. And then Blanca comes out. She's like, who did this out of you three? And she was talking to Zelina. And then she went after Zelina, and they all had to hold him back. And good little brawl. Then Mysterio. And then before all that, the freaking Fight Club happened, which I don't know why this really isn't. They didn't even talk about the Fight Club. So there was like 3 fights. It's called Raw, not Fight Club. It's called Raw Underground, and it's basically a ring setup. It's a wrestling ring with no ropes, just a ring. And basically, it's showing off I think, honestly, if they do this right, it can easily be put to have young people look good and people who are not being used right now have them something to do, which is what people have wanted. But of course, people are going to complain because they're copying MMA. Who the frick cares? Everything copies everything. MMA copies wrestling. Wrestling copies MMA. Boom. There you go. If you don't believe me, watch MMA. What do they do sometimes? They wrestle. What does wrestling do? Sometimes they fight. Boom. So Raw Underground happened. The first fight was this big dude. He was from NXT. I remember him. He was an Evolve. I guess he's going to be under there. He beat the crap out of all 3 of these guys. Like, that's a big dude. I can't remember his name. I know who he is, though. I just can't think of his name. And then the next fight was Eric from the Viking Raiders, and he killed this man. He literally killed a dude. This man was not moving. He hit that knee, and that man went. I was like, oh, he did. And then the last one was Ziggler. They threw Ziggler down there. I was like, what the heck he doing down there? So Ziggler was down there and they had like these chicks dancing. So it was basically like an edgier type thing to try to boost to keep people interested in the second hour of Raw because I guess we're gonna have 3 fights. And one's probably going to be an unknown dude, probably from NXT, getting some recognition. Then probably a tag team guy or a single guy who's not being used. No. So it's going to go an NXT guy, a tag team guy, and then a single guy not doing anything. So it's probably going to go next week, an NXT guy, probably Ricochet or Cedric, and then probably Rude if he's not back or something. Probably someone, one of those 3. But that happened, and then Ziggler didn't happen yet, but that happens at the end. So Seth and Buddy come out, and they were having a promo, and they were talking about how Dominic's a grown man, and he shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't challenge me. So he went to Tom Phillips and was like, hey, you shouldn't be cheering for him, so we're going to make you an example. And then he said, Buddy, go get him, or Murphy, go get him. So Buddy went over. Smoke was like, no, sir, you're not doing this. And I was like, are they gonna put this Joe back in the ring finally? So Joe says, I'll beat living out of crap out of all of y'all. So Seth's like, don't do this, Joe. He's like, I will gladly do this. And they went back in the ring. It went to commercial. It was a weird cut commercial. And it comes back, Seth don't have a suit on. I was like, okay, that's odd. Buddy's still there. They got chairs. And then Dominic comes out of nowhere, hits him with a kendo stick. And then Joe hops back on commentary and was just destroying Seth and Buddy, saying, yeah, Dominic, go do that. I was like, okay, Dominic, good job. And he had a 619. That kid hit a 619 looking fantastic. And he's tall. That dude was like probably 6'1", 6'2". He's tall to hit a 619. I was like, dang, man, you should be proud of your boy. He hit a good 619. I was like, good Lord, that man can hit a 619. So they confirmed it. Dominic is going to face Seth at SummerSlam, and I'm honestly excited. I really am. I think they're going to have a teardown match, and everyone's going to think you're dumb. No, my opinion. Guess what? You. I thought it was going to be – I think it's going to be pretty good. And then – the Hurt Business, that's their freaking name. So Raw Underground goes back. Ziggler's beating up someone. He's actually wrestling, which looked pretty good. And then the Hurt Business shows up. They start beating up everyone. There was an NXT dude down there. Oh, wait, I forgot. Midway through the freaking thing, there was a faction that was going to debut. This faction looked like ninjas. It looked like just more ninjas destroying stuff. I was like, what the frick? So basically, they had a generator outside that had like all the power to it, and then like 5 or 6 people just roll up, looking like ninjas, and then throwing Molotov cocktails and rocks at it. And I'm like, bruh, is it just more ninjas? Are we getting a stable of ninjas now? I'm like, good Lord, because that one's got so much backup with all these ninjas, and some of them are gonna be heel now, heel ninjas versus face ninjas. It really wasn't a really debut of a faction. It was basically just showing like, look, we got all these ninjas basically coming out of nowhere now. Everyone wants to be a ninja. It looked like ninjas, okay? I'm going to say it was more ninjas because they dressed like ninjas. And it was kind of cool that they were just destroying everything. Hopefully, I thought they were honestly going to debut at the end. I thought they were going to beat up the Hurt Business, but nope, no ninjas destroying the Hurt Business because it literally looked like just more ninjas. I'm not going to stop that because it was literally just looked like ninjas. That faction looked like ninjas. Anyway, they destroyed something, and that was where the power was flickering on and off. Then we got to the end where it was Raw Underground. Ziggler was beating up someone. Hurt Business walks up. They're like, hey, rerun this now. Bobby, get in there. Bobby goes in. This guy wants to fight you. I already plugged it in. You don't got to keep plugging in everything. I already said in the beginning of the friggin' show. You friggin'... I almost said something, but you're not. Friggin', we know. We got a huge thing coming up. I just got here. Yeah, I could tell. I know. We got a big thing. I said in the beginning, I was like, please subscribe to All Star Extreme Wrestling. We got a freaking big pay-per-view coming up. I will say it again. Please subscribe to All Star Extreme Wrestling. We got something big coming up. Nate, if you're watching, do this too on your channel. Oh, we're recording. Nate, do this for your channel. Do like a little shout out saying go subscribe because you got like almost 300 subscribers. Be nice to get more. And you're teasing it on your Instagram anyway, so that'd be cool. Back to Raw real quick. So Hurt Business comes in the Raw Underground. They start cleaning the house. There was an NXT guy there. I noticed it for a second. It was the big NXT dude that I really like. I seemed like he faced Dexter Lucas or whatever, Loomis. And he got beat up by freaking Shelton Benjamin. I was like, oh, dang it. If you watch NXT and you've been to NXT live events, you know who it was. I can't think of his name. My homie Wyvern would know who he is because Wyvern's a huge fan of him. But he got beat up by Shelton. I was just like, oh, dang. That's kind of sucked. But no one knew who he was unless you literally watch NXT faithfully and go to live events, and you should know who he is. But he was big. That's all that matters. He looked big. So Hurt Business basically takes under Raw Underground. Shane was like, oh, that was pretty cool. Come join us next week. Mic drop. And that's how the show ended. I really enjoyed Raw. Raw was not bad. I thought the Underground thing was going to be cringy, and it wasn't. It was actually pretty freaking cool. Seeing like this weird type of fight club in a wrestling thing, in a wrestling business. I was like, they kept teasing. I was like, what is this man got himself into? I was like, please do not do a freaking wild card 0.50. They didn't. They just had people fighting, and it was kind of cringy. But at the end of the day, I still am gonna watch it because it was freaking cool. Because it's giving people something to do that may not have anything to do. So there's always more of a positive in this than a negative. That's why I like talking about wrestling, because no matter what you do, no matter what you watch, there should always be more of a positive than a negative thing. But people like to look at the negative more than the positive, and then take the negative and kind of destroy it. Like how Backlash had the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders versus the Ninjas, and they brawled. Everyone was like, that was the stupidest thing ever. I was like, it was funny. It was cool. Don't hate on it. If you didn't like it, cool, move on. Say, I didn't like it, move on. Big whoop. It's the same thing with this. If you don't like it, don't watch it, move on. Big whoop. It's something that a lot of wrestling fans and just people that say that they are wrestling fans, as I put quotation marks, need to learn about wrestling nowadays, is the fact that it's not going back to ruthless aggression. It's not going back to the Attitude Era. It's not going back to the New Generation or the Golden Age or the 80s or 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. It's not going back to that time. No matter what happens with wrestling, people are always complain. People from the 30s didn't like what happened in the 40s. People in the 40s didn't like what happened in the 50s. People in the 50s didn't like what happened in the 60s. People in the 60s didn't like what happened in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s to 2020 now. Every single time something changes in wrestling, people are going to complain and not be happy with it. And I will say this to the day I die, if you can sit there and you going to complain about nothing but wrestling, then don't watch it. Don't be a mark and try to ruin it for everyone else. There are a lot of people out there that are completely marks about it and just try to ruin it for everything. This don't make sense. This doesn't happen. This shouldn't happen. This guy lost to this guy like 100 weeks ago. This shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. And it just, what happened to the days when like you could just sit down, watch, and then just go. Like you don't care. You just watch and get lost. That's what happened. I watched and I got lost. Not everything was perfect. It's not always going to be perfect. People have to realize this show is not going to be perfect. And that's the beauty of wrestling. No matter what happens, the beauty of it is it will never be perfect. There will be messes up. There will be times where it messes up. There will be times where this happens when it shouldn't. Wrong people win. The right people don't win. It happens. We're human. Do everyone sit there and criticize each other? Yes. I always see it a lot. Should you? No. You should not criticize each other. You should like what you like about each other. Don't sit there and tear each other down. Build each other up. Same thing with wrestling. As much as I hate to say it, I shouldn't have caught a lot of crap about AEW. Not All Star Extreme. The other one. The big one. The one on TNT. Because it's giving people opportunities that in WWE they wouldn't get the opportunities that they had. But at the end of the day, we are human. We make mistakes. I respect it. Do I watch it? No. I don't. I would if they wouldn't continue to send shots at WWE. That's the only thing I will continue to criticize about them until they stop. Is if they don't stop shooting shots at WWE, people are going to learn to just stop. People are going to get annoyed by it, for one. Unless they're the marks who like to see WWE get destroyed, then they'll continue to watch. But most of them will get annoyed, stop watching, go to NXT and watch NXT or watch Raw or watch SmackDown. I respect AEW. Do I like it? No. Do I wish they did some stuff differently? Yes, because there are people that are going to exactly say the same thing. I'm going to say, I respect WWE, but I don't like it. There are some things that they should do differently, and then I come back. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things that we could do differently. They're not going to, because if they do, they lose a lot of things. A lot of people want to go back to TV 14. That's not going to happen. A lot of people want blood back. Blood nowadays is more special because they don't bleed. It's literally they got busted open. People want the Attitude Era to come back. I don't want that. I really don't. It's time to let go of the past and just focus on the future, because the more people just sit there and think everything from the past should come back, it's not. In your hopes are just drained. And to the people who always say the same thing, it's not good, then don't watch it. I will continue to... And to the people who say that they are wrestling fans, but then criticize everything that WWE does, stop it right now. You are not a wrestling fan. You are a fan of AEW, TNA, New Japan. You are basically a everything but WWE fan. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing it. Just stop watching it, or watch it and then get lost. Don't sit there and be, this sucked, this shouldn't have happened, this sucked, Underground was cringy, Underground was stupid. Then don't watch it. It's plain and simple as hitting a thing on the TV or turning the TV off and going to bed. Stop trying to destroy something that other people like. It's just... It's hard nowadays because everyone just wants to criticize it. You can criticize WWE for all their flaws as you want, but continuing to do it and continue to just say it's trash is not right, because it's not. A lot of people enjoy what they watch. A lot of people love watching Raw or SmackDown or NXT. Just because you don't, and you gotta leave a negative comment on their Instagram saying this was stupid, this was cringy, stop doing this, go back to this, go back to that. So many people are going to look at that and be like, why are you saying that? I like this. Or a lot of people that come to it are going to be like, this dude's really negative, and a lot of people are agreeing with it. I don't want to be part of it. A lot of things have changed, and not for the better. Gaming has been drastically killed, I've seen. And that was another thing I'm going to talk about real quick. The Halo community, a community that I love, is so toxic now. I see these big YouTubers go on and talk about how bad Infinite's demo was. I'm like, it wasn't bad. And everyone talks about the graphics. When did graphics start to matter so much now in a Halo game? And the thing that blows my mind when people talk about graphics, they basically counter what they're saying with graphics. They counter the point they're trying to make. I've seen so many YouTubers, Halo YouTubers, the old ones, the ones that are saying it's trash, counter themselves in the argument. How are you going to say the graphics are terrible, but graphics in a Halo game don't really matter that much? And you talk about how good Halo 3 was, but the graphics were not that good. You just basically walked into a wall. You walked yourself into a wall. Good job. You're an idiot. If you sit there and say the graphics look terrible, but Halo 3's graphics look good, you're cringe. You are cringe. I hate to say it, you are cringe because the graphics from Halo Infinite to Halo 3, Halo Infinite's graphics are better. People are just doing the stupid little pick stuff that they'll take the worst screenshot of Halo Infinite and say this graphic sucks. Okay, I literally watched YouTubers just do this. You know what he did? He took terrible screenshots of Warfare, Fortnite, all these popular games, Halo 3, and basically said, so the graphics on this is better than this. And he took a beautiful screenshot of Infinite, and people were like, you can't do that. That's what you're doing. Stop it. Stop being negative about everything. Stop killing something that you want to see succeed. It's killing me seeing all these big freaking YouTubers use this platform and just be negative about every single thing. Yes, you can criticize it. There is a difference between criticizing it and trying to beat a dead horse. They are beating the dead horse. They're saying graphics, 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 graphics. Who cares? If the graphics are pixelated but the game is fun, who cares? I remember back in the day when you could literally watch a game being developed, well, not developed, a game coming out back in 2010, 2007, and be like, this looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it. Now everyone's like, it has pixels. It don't look good. It ain't going to be freaking real life here. It's just, it hurts seeing how much negative everything has become, and the negative is outweighing the positive with wrestling, with Halo, with video games. There are so many people that just destroy Microsoft. Like, bruh, Microsoft has done nothing, and you're just sitting there and being negative with it. No one does it to Sony as much as I've seen, but there are people that do it with Sony, but not as bad as Microsoft. I've seen so many people to say Microsoft is so trash. This is trash. I poke fun. We all poke fun with me and Horror, me and Tyler. We all poke fun with each other because we all have different likes. They like they like PlayStation. I like Xbox. We'll poke fun with you. We know we're kidding, but a lot of y'all just don't. A lot of y'all are serious, and it needs to stop. The console war doesn't need to even happen. There should be no console war. I have both a PS4 and an Xbox One. I like my Xbox One better than my PS4, but the PS4 is just as good. It's just as good. The games are just as good. Spider-Man just as good. God of War just as good. Halo just as good. Need for Speed just as good. It's just, it kills me seeing all the negativity swarm to things I love, and it's just like, bro, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Seeing all these, like I said, these big time YouTubers basically just destroy Infinite because of how it looks. I'm sitting there, I'm like, you cannot just sit there and say it looks bad because it really didn't. And you're comparing it to old Halo games. Old Halo games look like boo-boo. Let's be honest. Without the remastered. Halo 2 looked like boo-boo without the remastered. Halo 1 looked like boo-boo without the remastered. Halo 3, as beautiful as people say, it has scenes to where it looks trash. I will say that till I die. The scenes with Lord Hood and the Shipmaster talking, they look terrible. I will say it till I'm dead. Lord Hood don't even look human half the time. He looks ugly. And it's just, you want Halo. All these YouTubers, it blows my mind. They want Halo to succeed, but they want it to be their Halo. They want the Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 1 days. I hate to say it, it's not going back to that day. Halo 4 was an experiment, and it showed how negativity you guys are to new stuff, and it's the same thing with wrestling fans. When I first played Halo 4 and 5, I'll be honest, I thought 4 was terrible, and I like 5 better. Replaying it now, older, smarter, Halo 4 was more fantastic, more better than 5. 5 on its own is good. Compared to the other Halos, it's the worst. It is the worst Halo. I will agree with every Halo fan out there. It is the worst Halo by far. But Halo Infinite is a new Halo. Get that through your head. A new Halo, which means a fresh start, like Combat Evolve was. Combat Evolved is what Infinite is. It's a new Halo. It's gonna try to get new people. And all the old ones like, they shouldn't do that. Grow up. Shut up. Stop complaining. If you're gonna complain, don't get the game then. Plain and simple. If you're gonna complain about the graphics, complain that it shouldn't be all this other stuff, then don't buy the game. If you're gonna be this negative about it, and then you're gonna be positive saying, oh, the open world's gonna be fun. Y'all asked for open world since like what, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 5, and they're giving it to you, and y'all already start to complain saying, what if it's like how Skyrim was, how you can't climb on stuff? Stop being so negative and just wait for the game to come out, then judge it. I guarantee you, Infinite is going to shut up the negativity that it has around it. I guarantee it, because I have faith in 343. A lot of people do not have faith in 343 because of what 4 and 5 was. Guess what? 6 or Infinite is a new game. It looked fine. It plays fine. The one YouTuber did say I agree with, there should not be hit markers in a Halo game. Point blank, I will agree with that. No hit markers in a Halo game. Weird. There's no aim down. There's no, like, it's like Halo, just it has sprint. And the thing that blew my mind, people complain about sprint. You're in an open world Halo game, you're complaining about sprint. You are dumb. You are dumb. I don't care if you think sprint should never be in a Halo game, should have never been in a Halo game. Okay, cool. Let's say 4 and 5 don't have a sprint. 6 comes out. They put sprint in because of an open world game. And you complain about sprint. And you complain about the littlest things. Like, I watched this dude, I'm not going to name drop him because I disagree with him with his full, as respectful as I can be, I disagree with everything he tried to say. He does do good content. I do still like how he does his content. It's just he complained about every little thing. He said there should be more blood. The blood should stick. The shields are stupid. I'm like, you're complaining about every little nitpick thing. And he, of course, said the graphics, and everyone's saying it's a 5-year disappointment. And I'm like, no, it is a hopeful enjoyment. If you think it's a disappointment, then you just need to leave. Flat out. You just need to learn to... You can criticize it, like I said, you can criticize it, but saying it's a disappointment because it's not what you want, because you want a Halo 2 type game, or Halo 3 or Halo 1 type game. First off, they listened to y'all. They went back to classic art, which I really wish they wouldn't have. I don't like classic art. I liked Halo 3 and Halo 2 art more than Halo 1 art. They went back to Halo 1 art with Halo 4 and 5 art mixed in with it. I like it. Honestly, I like Halo 4 and 5 a lot better than one. I'm going to say, and everyone's going to freaking crucify me if someone watches this as if they're a Halo fan. It's just, no one can ever be satisfied, and it needs to stop, because, like, it hurts seeing how much negativity everything is nowadays. Hopefully one day it does change. Hopefully everyone will become positive with stuff and learn to just, that you can disagree and agree and be respectful about it. I may sound disrespectful. It is what it is sometimes. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying, leave the negativity behind. Don't crucify games because it has bad graphics, when you basically just counter slapped yourself in the face. But that was a little rabbit. I'm going to end the stream here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Really enjoyed talking about Raw and Extreme Rules. Again, subscribe to All Star Extreme Wrestling for a big surprise coming soon. And I will see you maybe with the homies soon. We never know. I'll talk to y'all later. End the stream, please.